I'm delighted to be here today as the face of cooperatives in Africa. And in the next 20 or so minutes, I'll be sharing with you our vision and where we see cooperatives playing a key role and plugging in the new technology world, if you like, the digital economy. So my presentation will center around the trends that we see today and what we see in the future, and how as cooperatives, or if you like SACCOs, we can corporately work together within the technology space to better engage our members, to better serve our members, and to stay connected in our effort to promote financial inclusion. So as I start off, I would just like to reminisce a bit about the industry. And I would like to think about 10 years ago when SACCOs, then even as banking industry was ahead, SACCOs were still lagging behind as far as technology is concerned. I'm reminded of a small SACCO in Malawi where the chairperson and the treasurer worked with a checkbook in the view of protecting their member assets. Today, that has really changed. The landscape today is a landscape where technology is enhancing each and everything that we do. Okay. And indeed, innovation is helping us in the growth and the service of our members. So to start us off, I would want to look briefly at the economic outlook and then look at the operating environment before we delve in on what our views are as we engage further with the technological wave that we see in the next few years. So in Africa today, Africa accounts for 11 of the 20 fastest growing economies this year. I think we pause there for a moment and just think of the opportunity that that presents. Whereas global economies are slowing in terms of growth, there is obvious an potential for Africa. And that's where, as stakeholders, we need to look inwardly to say, how can we plug in and how can we enhance and enable this growth? Overall, real GDP stands at between 3.8% to 4.2%, still a higher percentage compared to the global north. And Africa is pegged to be the second fastest growing continent after Asia. And we pride ourselves of the 1.3 billion people present in this continent. Really a huge opportunity for us to explore and better the lives of our people. I would like to borrow the words of the head of Africa Continental Free Trade Area, who today envisions an unified Africa in trade. And with this, it is a clear projection of, as a continent, we can solidify and combine our comparative and competitive advantage in building the continent. And when you look at trade, what better else enabler than technology? Our key strategy remains to achieve higher growth in the long term by looking at ways of offering affordable financing. And I believe that's the role that SACCOs will play in this space. So looking at the operating environment, communities are struggling with high inflation due to increased oil and food prices. There's war today that is shaping decisions in the continent, that is shaping decisions in the global space. And of course, we've seen currency fluctuations, which now are stabilizing, but has been a key factor to how we operate as SACCOs. On the other hand, there is the regulatory landscape, and compliance is pushing for firmer and stricter operating environment to safeguard the wealth of the people who trust us as SACCOs. And of course, there's conversations around taxation and how taxation can also help in the growth of the economy. High interest rates and increasingly financial distress linked particularly to our members who today are facing health challenges because of some of the financial obligations that they have. Now, to the meat of the discussion today, we see from our space that technology is an enabler for growth. A wise leader once said in one of the annual conferences that I attended in the continent that SACCOs that will win this battle are SACCOs that will embrace technology. That was 10 years ago. Today, we have seen that the top 10 SACCOs in the continent are those that were swift and took the first mover advantage to enhance technology in the operations. Just to name a few, those SACCOs are found in Kenya, Tanzania, and Malawi. It was scary then. It was new. It had all sorts of risks. But again, the first movers took the jump, and today they're leading the way in terms of how we engage and offer financial services. Okay, I'll step back to where we are coming from. And if you look back, many of our members were driven by the notion of branch-based transactions. So there was the excitement of brick and mortar. I would like to have my transactions in a bank. And the source of pride for many SACCO members was, you know, that symbol of stability of a building that is owned by members. Guarantee-based lending, if you like, very common in Africa, not so common in other jurisdictions beyond Africa. But we were driven by, okay, you need to be guaranteed for you to be able to get a loan. Check payments, and so on and so forth. Most importantly, third-party clearinghouse, which is a discussion that is going on today progressively, that how can SACCOs have their own framework to enhance payment systems. Whereas today, there's the over-reliance in the banking sectors, SACCOs are looking for innovative ways to have an end-to-end service provision. So of course, today, we see branchless. We see mobile internet transactions. We see call center engagements with members, and members are embracing that. Because this is the new way of doing things. And this gives us scale, this gives us convenience, and this gives us exactly what the members want. Africa today is a youthful continent with a median age of 18. The so-called Gen Z are members that require different kind of services. And if SACCOs do not jump on the table, then we'll be missing that opportunity. And so that is why we are seeing a lot of shift into mobile internet banking services, into card payments, and now integrated payment systems, where services are entrenched into your banking operations. So if you look at, for instance, paying utility bills, paying your cable TV bills, these services are increasingly being integrated with our SACCO operations. And really, that's where we want to go. Today in Kenya and Uganda, there are robust discussions around how SACCOs themselves can stand alone and have their own clearinghouse. That is the way we are going. So looking at global trends, I would want to start with how SACCOs are entrenching, building resilience, member trust, and ECG practices. We believe that we sell trust, and you cannot sell what you don't have. It is that trust that helps members have the confidence to walk with you the world's journey. It is that trust that makes you competitive amongst many other financial institutions within the space. And as SACCOs, we pride ourselves in banking the unbanked. If you like, providing financial solutions for those that would generally be excluded. And for that reason, there's need for us to build trust and build resilience. How are we doing that? We are strengthening our regulatory frameworks. We are coming up with products and services driven by technology that offers that convenience over and above what we know as traditional banking. And I believe disruptions like COVID have taught us a lot in enhancing this kind of resilience. Today, a lot of conversations around ESG because climate action, environmental, social, and governance practices are increasingly becoming important in how we drive sustainability in our SACCOs. Looking at cloud computing, indeed, this was a phenomenon that generally was driven by banks as a way of storing data. But increasingly with AI, cloud computing is becoming an enabler, and SACCOs cannot be left behind. How can we partner with fintechs, with technology firms to support us enhance cloud computing that then is a base for AI that develops the way we engage members, the way we serve them, and the way we do our financial reporting. Looking at the rise of generational AI, we look at it both as a challenge and as an opportunity. A challenge in the sense that the security concerns, the issues to do with workforce, the reorganization of workforce, and these are things that keep our CEOs awake at night. Nonetheless, it's an opportunity that we cannot bypass, because with AI, there are very unique opportunities in rise in revenue, workflow optimization, regulatory compliance, and data analytics. And finally, third-party integration. Increasingly, collaboration becomes key in us achieving our goals. Today, small SACCOs can utilize APIs, for instance, to enhance their services to members, thanks to the innovation that technology brings. And these are conversations we want to advance, particularly to serve even the lowest in the pyramid. Moving on, the world is interconnected. And let's start to look at how possibly collaboration can be a better way to address our challenges. As Africa, we are united with our experiences. We are united with our demographics and our culture. It's interesting, what we call ugali here in Kenya is present in Malawi, probably in a different name. It's present in Ghana in an equally different name, but it's the same. It is those similarities that bring us together. And I believe we can draw synergies in those similarities to create strategic alliances, both at the regional level and at the continental level, for us to be a force in the Africa continent. We should think about offering ease of access and convenience, personalized service, and real-time feedback to our customers. How do we do that? Technology sits at the center of it. The use of mobile apps today, user-friendly websites, ensures that members stay engaged with the brand, and hence is likely to continue to entrench our services even to the rural-most parts of the continent. Therefore, technology is making our members feel valued, our members feeling connected, and our members wanting to do more in terms of building their financial wellness. However, there's a big threat. Let's look at the numbers. 1/5 of the attacks, cyber attacks, target financial institutions. The number of cyber attacks actually doubled after the pandemic. Close to $12 billion US dollars lost due to cyber attacks in financial institutions over the past 2 decades. That loss is equivalent to Kenya's half-year annual budget. And then higher indirect costs, which are as a result of the damage to reputation and security updates that are the order of the day in business operations to just ensure that members' assets are ring-fenced. So indeed, again, this is a call for collaboration in mitigating cyber risks. As we earlier saw, we are interconnected, and we can draw our synergies from that collaboration in collectively fighting cybersecurity. The question we want to ask is, we need are traditional tools sufficient? Are our traditional tools to fight cybersecurity sufficient? I believe the conversations and the experts in the room are here. The conversations we would love to hear from our space is, for instance, how can AI enhance our fight to cybersecurity? And how can we come up with cybersecurities that are more not just preventative, but tools that are bringing resilience into the system? As I close, I want us to reflect on the very tenets of credit unions or SACCOs. We are here to help people. We are here to serve the underserved. And ultimately, we are here to show kindness and humility and compassion in everything that we do. As SACCOs, we found extending financial services to all as a way of doing that. And that is the real core to life. Through our meaningful contributions, with a sincere heart of positive change, we impact the lives of our brothers and sisters. And for Africa, God has given us technology. We have lagged behind, but technology could be the very key that enhances our support to our communities and empowering them to decent lives. Technology has the power to harness and redeem time. We should strive in boldness and courage even as we advance these conversations. Thank you very much.